Would you like to read my bucket?
Read it. Yeah, there you go.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Mikey. We rocking and rolling?
Yeah, man.
All right, we're recording, Dalton. Okay, so remember, when you talk, you gotta talk close to the microphone. Okay, I got it. Talk.
Hello.
There we go. Awesome. What up, guys? Coach Darrell back from castironworkouts.com, and today I've got Mikey with me, as usual.
What's going on?
And I've got our super special, awesome guest that we had on here once before.
Dalton.
Yeah. Got Dalton. This is my son, Dalton. So this is his second time being on our podcast. The first time we talked about working out and why Dalton likes to work out and how he's awesome at it and all that good stuff. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about something that is kind of special to me and to Dalton. And what I just found out today is special to Mike, too. We're going to talk about sports cards. This is something that, for me, I did for a long time as a kid and really enjoyed. And, you know, kind of I dropped the hobby as I started to get a little bit older. And I'll come back to that in a little bit. And just in the last couple of years, Dalton kind of got into collecting baseball cards, and kind of roped Daddy back into collecting, and opened up Pandora's box, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So Dalton,
Yes.
what do you like about collecting cards?
I just like to have like a surprise of what I'm gonna like, what's in the box or packs, whatever it is. And I like to just look at the cards, and like, since I know the players, it's fun to see like the players in the cards, and then like see how much they are, even though they're cards, and it's not like,
You mean like how much they're worth?
yeah, and
Yeah.
like it's not like the real players in your house, but it's pretty cool to have like those pictures of
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I know for me, like at Dalton's age too, that was the big thing, right? Like, it helped me learn a lot about the game, right? Like baseball. I got started with baseball more than anything, and it taught me a lot, like about players on certain teams, and you know, like batting averages and home runs and stats, and like it's weird because now as an adult, like Mike, you've seen this, like at the gym, like I'm very numbers oriented, and I can remember numbers, and like I remember people's maxes and weights and things like that. And I take it all back to collecting baseball cards. You know, it was like remembering stats, remembering numbers of cards, remembering prices of cards and things like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, all those numbers on the back, like baseball has tons. So
Yeah.
then you got their average, you got their slugging percentage, you got the 2B, the 3B, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I had to figure out doubles and triples.
Yeah. And that's something like Dalton's just figuring out. He's like, Daddy, what's, you know, like when he first started, what's AVG? Right?
Yeah.
It's, that's their batting average. And then explaining batting average and
Right.
like what that means and how they get a batting average. And so it's pretty cool. And like for me, that's the fun part, right? Like as the dad who's like teaching Dalton about collecting and talking him through the game, right? And talking him through, okay, this player is on this team, and this player, you know, look at his card. What did he do last year? And trying to, you know, like through stats, he's figuring out, you know, who produces, who's a good player, who's not, huh?
Yeah, I think some guys you'll never see again in the car.
Right. Kind of like the stuff Mike, if you guys can't see Mike right now, but he is standing and he's flipping through a binder. I'll hold this one up. He's flipping through a binder of cards that he brought in a bunch of his stuff. And I didn't even realize that Mike collected cards until today. He's like, hey, I'm going to bring in some of my cards. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't realize you had cards, but he's flipping through an old binder right now and just kind of looking at stuff. And that's what we were talking before, is it's funny to go through the older stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you start to see, like as a kid, I remember like some of the big names that like would pop up that were supposed to be the next best thing, right? Gonna be, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna be amazing, and then they were just kind of a flash in the pan and never. Well, you're pointing at.
Well, I found some Sam Bowie.
Oh yeah, good old Sam Bowie.
And it was from the Celtics, like his 5th year in or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was like, is this who I think it is? And flip it around, yeah, Portland Trailblazers. You know, his rookie year.
What do you say?
So like when I like see the order cards,
Uh-huh.
I'll see like, oh, this is a first round draft pick.
Yep.
And then you're like, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
And it's
weird
funny.
now.
Well, and it's funny too. Like when we're going through cards, and I've done this with Dalton. Like Todd Van Poppel. You remember that name?
No.
First round draft pick for the A's back in the day, right? So I'm a Giants fan, but grew up Bay Area.
Yeah.
And Todd Van Poppel was a dude. He's the next Nolan Ryan. He was hitting 100 miles an hour on the gun. Just amazing. People were dying to get his rookie cards. Van Poppel, he played in the bigs. Like, that says something, right? You were a Major League Baseball player, and you played for multiple years, but he just never panned out to be that dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, just different guy, like Greg Jeffries. As the guy who came up with the Mets, like I can remember people going crazy to get Greg Jeffries rookies, Kevin Moss rookies from the Yankees, John Olerud from the Blue Jays.
I remember that name, John Olerud.
Yeah, and people
I
going.
probably have a bunch of his.
Oh yeah, people going nuts, right? And they're stacking these cards, and like I can go buy these for probably a nickel now, and probably get 5 of them for a nickel. You know what I mean?
They got that common card.
Oh yeah. But it's fun, man. It's fun to go through it with Dalton for sure. What's your favorite to collect, D? Tell us a little bit about like your collection and like who's your favorite player to collect?
Well, my favorite player is Buster Posey, so I like to collect his cards.
Yep.
But I do like Mike Trout. He's one of the best players in baseball, so like I like to collect like good players like that, and try to get a lot of those and most of the good rookies.
Okay.
Since I've only been collecting from 2019 to 2020, so I'm just trying to get like as many Luis Roberts and like all of those types of cards.
Yep.
To like get those and like the good players that are still like doing good from their rookie year. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your collection. I know all the cards you have, right? Yeah.
But everybody that's going to be watching this, and Mike doesn't know, like, what are some of your favorite cards that you have? I mean, give us a couple, not just your busters, because I know you can sit here and name off, but how many Buster Posies do you have now? Close to how many?
200.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, close to 200 Buster Posey cards.
Nice.
Yeah. But who else? Like, so give us a couple of your favorite Buster cards you have. Give us a couple of your name as many as you want, man. Like, what are some of your favorite cards?
Like, I do like my Buster Posies. Like, I have his rookie. Like, you'll go on about graded stuff.
Yep.
But graded out of 10.
Yep. The highest grade you can get. Dalton's got a Buster Posey rookie. Okay.
Like his autograph, some of the numbered cards, which you'll talk about too.
Yeah.
Also, I do like Mike Trout. I like his. I do like his fake rookie card that I have.
The reprint. Yep.
Yeah, that. And there's one where he's sliding. It looks like a short print, but it really isn't. And also I like my the complete set photo variation cards of most of my rookies.
Oh yeah, that's
2020.
this year. So in a lot of the tops baseball sets from 2020, they give 5 extra cards, and they are photo variations to the 5 of the top rookies from this year. They're pretty cool. So it's like a different photo than what they have on the regular card. So
it's funny because those are like short prints, but less money.
Yep.
Too.
Yep. And that's a big thing too, is like how much that the hobby has changed, right? Like since I collected as a kid, since Mike collected as a kid, there's been so many things that have changed. Baseball cards, there's a huge supply, a huge demand when I was a kid, and what kind of killed the hobby for a long time was they overprinted cards, right? So they made the supply greater than the demand, which if you take a card and you just keep printing and printing and printing and printing, how much is it really worth, right?
Right, everybody's got one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect example.
Who was it that really made that impactful? What player was it?
So the Griffey rookie.
Yeah, it was Griffey.
Yeah, the 89 Upper Deck Griffey rookie. And those are still, like, if you get them graded out, like, those things are still worth a ton of money just because it's Ken Griffey Jr., right? But that was an era, like, Upper Deck was the brand, and Upper Deck doesn't have a license to do baseball cards anymore. Yeah, they're still doing hockey, and they were doing baseball for a while, but Topps is, like, the sole. They have the rights to baseball cards.
Okay.
Like Panini, who makes Don Russ and makes all those brands.
Oh yeah, so that
they're still
new to me.
they're still printing cards.
Okay.
Right? They're still printing cards, but they can't put the major league logos on them because they don't have a tie to Major League Baseball. So it'll say Buster Posey, San Francisco. It won't say Giants.
They can't even show the logos, right?
No,
like
and they
gear?
blur out the logos.
Wow.
So it's a
I know,
trip.
Like some people get angry about that. Like they don't have the
The logo.
Yeah, the logo.
And some people just won't buy those cards. So they'll just only buy Topps, right?
Almost a bootleg.
Yeah, straight up. And so things kind of change there, right? And like the Upper Deck one, the story goes with that was like, okay, Upper Deck was overprinting cards. Well, it came to find out later that Upper Deck wasn't just overprinting like every card. They were like mass producing, and they knew that Griffey was in high demand. So they're just printing a ton
More of those.
Yeah, here, let's run a sheet of 50 Griffey rookies and sell them directly to card shops. So, and that wasn't just Upper Deck, is it all the
Whole industry.
Yeah, the whole industry kind of killed itself there, right? So you had this huge wave of collecting going on. Cards were overproduced, and then people kind of realized that, and people who thought they were sitting on thousands upon thousands of dollars realized, like, I maybe got $100, couple $100 here, right? So it kind of killed the hobby. Perfect example is like Barry Bonds, right? Barry Bonds was up and coming rookie when I first started collecting cards. Will Clark, who is my favorite player.
I got some of his.
Right? Yeah. Will was my guy. Like Dalton's Buster collection was like my Will Clark collection, right? A ton of his rookies, but like the Barry Bonds at same time, rookies the same year. Like I remember the Bonds rookie spiking at like $50 to $100. Well, we walk into the card shop a couple months ago and I bought them for $2.
Oh man.
Yeah. Now, if you have a perfect condition Bonds rookie and you get it graded, you can still get good money for them, right? Hundreds of dollars. But just a loose raw card that's ungraded,
yeah,
not so much.
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah, and how the hobby's kind of changed and kind of reinvented itself in the last however many years is they're limiting production runs. Right. So Dalton was,
good.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
It's
great for the hobby. And Dalton was kind of talking about numbered cards, right? So they'll do like numbered cards. So you'll have, like, I pulled these cards out because Mike's got a few really good cards here. He's got a couple LeBron James rookies here. I don't know if you guys see that, but they'll make cards like this, and then they'll do, say, a gold border on it or something.
Yeah.
And then they'll sequentially number them to, let's say, 25.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you basically have a serial numbered card. You only got 25 of those made ever, right?
Yeah, like, you had one, and it was like a 1/1, and that's super rare because it's the one in the world.
Yeah.
So, like, they can get super low amounts. And it's so crazy if, like, I have a Buster, it's numbered out 999, but still that's crazy because there's only 999 in the world.
Yep. It's nuts, huh? Well, you have a Buster that's numbered out of 67. That one from this year, that 2020.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's got this one that's got the black border to it. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Is it 67 or 69, something like that?
Yeah.
Sam Cassell's not going to pull the same value as LeBron, but
yeah,
they used to put those little gold kind of foil things. It doesn't have. It just says G for gold, and then whatever number it already was. Because the back isn't
right
covered.
here, the gold medallion edition.
Yeah, if you flip it, you can see the back. It's just G167, so it's not numbered like Dalton's, but throw the G on there, and it's gold, so it's 10 cents instead of 5. Thank you, Sam Cassell.
Yeah, I don't know if Sam's gonna have that same legacy as your LeBrons here, or the couple of the Kobe's that you have in that
I'm
box.
gonna get that Sam Cassell grade.
Yeah, next time I send in a shipment to the grading company, we'll make sure we put
throw that
in
one
there.
in
Yeah. What do you think, D? Be a good choice? Yeah, man. So the hobbies kind of change. The cool thing too, like now, is you'll get like autograph cards. Like autograph cards coming in packs and in boxes. Like a lot of the boxes, if you buy boxes, they guarantee you things. Like say you buy a hobby box of Topps. They'll say, okay, you're either going to get one relic card. We'll have like game used material on it.
That's cool. Like when I see the mesh on the jerseys.
Yeah. So
and, like some of the rarer cards, like have like you can get one. Like one relic and like 5 autographs, and like the more expensive ones, like for example, Bowman Platinum, like that will have like 5 autographs per box.
Yeah, pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's you're looking at a higher value lottery ticket,
Right.
right? It is. Right?
You get 2 numbers.
Yeah.
go get your free ticket.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. The market for cards right now is, I mean, it's hotter than when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Right? It's insane.
Well, yeah, they're grabbing bats and.
Bro.
Well, like the materials, like you said.
Yeah.
I just think that's really cool. I remember how rare that was, but now it looks like Panini. I don't collect anymore, but that's where it's headed. Is making all those special features, building them into the cards, and that's how they're getting the value in there. Oh yeah,
and it's insane, right? And it's basically it's a way for them to. Yeah, limit production runs in certain areas. Like you still have, like you have a LeBron James rookie here, right? Like say they'll still make, however many just base cards like this. But then they'll do, the numbered ones, and they'll do the variations to it, and they'll put a piece of a basketball on it or whatever, and it's you start to see these variations, man, and they're pretty cool. And then they'll do, like Dalton was talking about, short prints. That's a cool part too, is like you'll have your LeBron James rookie, and then they'll make a short print where they only print a set amount, or a super short print, or a super, super short print where the production runs are super small and it has a different picture on it.
Okay.
So like if you hit one of those, it's like you get one of those in every case, which is like 12 or 16 boxes, right? So it's pretty cool. What's up?
Also, like on the back, it'll have like numbers at the bottom, like Topps 2020, and then like all these.
The serial number, right? So like they have like the old card here. I'm trying to see if they have it. No, they don't. Like the newer cards have like a serial number at the bottom. It's like 10 numbers long. Well, the last 2 numbers on it tell you, okay, say it ends in 99. That's just your base cards. Well, if you find one that ends in like 86, it's a short print.
Okay.
And if you find one that ends in like 87, that means it's like a super short print. Yeah, it's just they have different a different variation of the numbers. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. So how did you start collecting? Who got you into collecting?
I think I did. I mean, I can remember, I guess, grocery stores. I'm just trying to think back. There's
So
I'm like, I'm looking really far.
Mike's stroking out over here.
A long time ago.
Oh, jeez.
I remember being at Safeway and Fleer, 92, 93. I remember grabbing those. And like I was telling you earlier, they used to come with like 20 cards in a pack.
Yeah.
It's Fleer 93, 94. I still remember. Like I kept the wrappers too for some of them. Eventually I started saving those because I just thought they were cool. I was like, oh man, these just look good. So yeah, that was like when I was 7. And I mean, I have a ton of baseball cards too. I probably have most baseball, and I have a lot of football, almost this much football. And yeah, I'd be watching sports every day anyway. So it was just, something that I could do. And then I started going to, asking my mom to take me to the card shops like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Target always had a ton.
Yeah.
I don't have anything now.
No, man. And that's like with a hobby right now is so hot, you get flippers. Like people are going and buying the retail products from like Target
just because
and
they can sell
Walmart,
it.
and they'll buy like the little blaster box for $20, and then next thing you know, you see them selling that on eBay or Facebook Marketplace for $60 to $100. I mean, dude, the market is stupid right now, but it's crazy. Like, there are people, they'll camp out and wait because they know when the people who come and stock from MJ Holding come and stock that store, and they'll wait and they'll sit, and then like our Target has put a limit on how many cards you can buy in a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we've actually seen flippers there, and like
loading
they
their
just
cart,
stock, and like it's almost like all the cards there are in their cart.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah, straight up.
That's crazy.
Well, it's crazy. The people who stock for these companies, right? They'll come and stock, and they have to keep everybody away while they're stocking, and then they have to take a picture to show that they actually stock the shelves because they're getting wiped out so fast. And it's a game. Like, I've heard a lot of stuff like with the different stores, Walmart and Target, like the employees are getting to them before, or they're having their friends come in and buy them, and then they're just making the profit and flip. I mean, I get it. You can sell it. You can flip it. It's a business. But then, you know, like for somebody who's collecting, like, and don't get me wrong, I treat it like a business also to a point. I'm not flipping boxes, but I'm opening stuff with my kid, and there's stuff that I buy. There's stuff that I buy for him. And if I find a high dollar card, there's sometimes if I don't collect it, I'm going to sell it, you know. But it's frustrating, you know, when you go in with this dude and we're like, yeah, let's go get some cards, and some dude's got a cart with 30 boxes in it, and he's just going to go flip.
Yeah, how do you?
And also like Mike said, like he said he got stuff from like Safeway and stuff. Like, it's crazy how they limited the stores now, because like Safeway is like only food now. Like, we can't buy stuff there.
Yep.
And then like and some people just go to stores and wipe everything off the shelves, and then you just have to get there like right
at the right time,
like a second after they take the picture of the shelf.
Yep.
But like people are already there, so it's pretty hard to find them sometimes. And like you got lucky that one time, and you got that really expensive card at that one Target. Like, we would drive around like to
so we
areas.
We went on a Saturday. We went card hunting.
Okay.
Right? And I said, all right, we're gonna go and check. You know, like the Targets usually stock on like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like our Targets, like the closest ones to us, didn't really have anything. And, you know, so let's just go take a drive, like out towards San Jose, where there's a bunch of stuff close together. You know, I'll just kind of run in and out of stores, check and see if they've got anything. And the thing is, the first one that I went in, wasn't it? They had, anyways, I walked in and I'm like, oh my gosh, they had just stocked football cards, because I collect football, so collect some basketball also. And he's mainly baseball, a little bit of football. He's got a couple basketball cards, but I walk in and they had just stocked the newest release, which is a good release of football cards. And I'm like, all right, cool. And there wasn't a ton. I think there was like 6 packs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, well, cool. I'm going to buy the 6 packs. And then I got some other football cards for us. But yeah, I mean, it was just like dumb luck, because every other store that we went in that day, nothing.
Yeah, because since I stopped at this area with my mom, and while you went to get like the cards, we just try to do that at every store, so it's good luck. But
a little superstition, huh? Yep. How we doing on time, Mikey?
We're okay. We got a couple minutes.
Okay, cool.
Or we could take a break if you guys need.
No, we're good.
Okay.
You're good, right? All right. So
like 3-4 more minutes, you know.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, I remember those days too, of like how I started collecting. You know, it's kind of the same way. There's a little store called Fremont Market that was in our little area that I grew up, right, in our little neighborhood, and it was down the street from our house, and it was a small mom and pop grocery store, and we knew the people who owned it. My sister actually worked at this place, like when she was in high school, and I remember walking down there, riding my bike down there, and being able to buy a pack of cards for like $0.25. It was in 1986, right? And it was our neighbor across the street who kind of got me into it. He was a baseball coach, and I remember just kind of going through the cards and like looking at them and not really knowing much, you know, and kind of starting to sort through and figure stuff out. And then the next year, 87 hit, and that was like when Will Clark came up, and that was like lit a fire. And I started collecting cards, and it was like, it was game on. it was game on from there. You know,
because now since you got rid of all of those at one point, like you've been trying to buy it back up.
Yep.
Because they're referred to as junk wax cards.
Yep.
And so you bought the set when it was coming back a little bit. Like that was last year.
Yep.
Get those cards again.
Yeah, and it was, and Dalton's right, and those are the cards like I collected. Started buying it like Fremont Market, and there was a card shop called Seventh Inning Stretch down the street that was right next to Fremont Market. Actually moved over there when I was about 12, and that was my first job, was working at Seventh Inning Stretch.
Oh, cool.
And I would sort cards, build sets for them. Sort cards by number, build sets out, just do random stuff like that, and they would pay me with cards. Right?
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah.
You work for 2 hours a day, you can get X amount of packs of cards or whatever it was. And, so that was pretty cool, man. Like when I collected cards up until I was probably, I don't know, man, probably about 14, and it kind of died off a little bit. I think I bought a few cards here and there after the fact, but once I discovered girls, it was like, I don't know about the whole card thing anymore.
I want to check something else out.
Yeah. I got other things on my mind.
Sorry, I need a car.
yeah. And it, so I kept my cards after that though, had my cards for a while. And then, when I got older, moved out, and it was, hey, I'm broke. Had to figure out ways to pay bills and stuff. And I remember selling cards.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And selling some of my cards off, and some of mine, I lost, and it just whatever. But, so I started my baseball card collection all over again with this guy. And like he said, I've been trying to go back and go, man, I remember that card. Or even like, hey, that was a card that I always remember wanting a Cal Ripken Jr. rookie, right? Like I always loved Cal Ripken Jr. And that was one I bought a graded Cal Ripken Jr. rookie a couple months ago. I mean, it's just cool to be able to start collecting those cards again, even though a lot of them, like from that 87 through 95, 2000 era aren't worth much because they were overproduced.
Yeah.
It's still stuff that's, semi.
It's cool. It's still nostalgic.
Yeah, exactly. The nostalgia is there, right? And it's almost sentimental. Like, oh my God, I got Will Clark that I never had, or whatever it is.
Yeah, and also like you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this card, and it's like I thought this was a cool picture when I was around your age and stuff like that, and like you'll remember it. And some of them you're like, I have no idea what that was.
Yep.
And that's kind of where value is on anything anyway. I mean, it's really a piece of paper, cardboard, Yeah.
So
well, it's like, as much as we value it, and then enough people value it, then that's what a market is, the supply and demand.
For sure.
So once we start liking those again, go right back up.
And you know what it is too is, the market right now is it's starting to heat back up with guys that are your age through my age, maybe a little bit older, that were in that first big boom of cards, and they've got kids now, so they're seeing it, and like I said, cards are hot, dude.
And they have money. We're all grown up.
And that's just it. You got people with money that are throwing money into this market right now, so it's hot. I mean, it's crazy hot. Like you hear Gary V, right? Like Gary V is crazy card collector. Like, and if Gary V says something's hot, like it's gonna change the way people view it. This dude's pretty intelligent when it comes to making money and market with making trends money as an entrepreneur and trends. Yeah. And that's just it, man. So you got people like that are getting into the hobby, that are changing the market. Now, I know like with him, it's not that they're throwing so much money into it that it's swaying the market one way or the other. It's just the influence from a person like that. So tell us more about your cards, Dalton. Like, what else, man? What are some of your other favorite cards? Who are some of your other favorite players? You talked about Buster. You talked about Trout. Who are some of the guys that you like from the last couple years that are rookies that you think that are going to be really good?
Well, I do think like maybe the next Mike Trout will be Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
So I like to have his cards, and also I just am not too sure about like some of the rookies this year because a lot of them got hurt and one of them just died off a little bit.
Yeah.
And some of them I never got to see them play. And so I'm not too sure about any of them this year, but
So you like Tatis though?
yeah, and also some of the rookies from last year, like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Pete Alonso, like all of those guys. Like I think they'll be pretty good, but I think it was better if you got cards during that time of those cards, like, and sold them. Like, I think they'd be worth more money then than it was now, except for Tatis. That's probably like going up in price.
Yeah, and you've got some Tatis rookies, huh? Yeah. How many of those do you have?
About 2 or 3.
Oh, you got more than that.
About 5.
Yeah, probably more than that even. I know you've got 4 of his Topps base rookies, which are the ones that we're talking about sending to grading, right? And then I think you've got like 3 or 4 other ones. Yeah, grading. Let's talk about grading for a sec. That's kind of a big thing, right? Like how cards have changed. Like when I collected cards as a kid, like there was no grading companies. It was like, yeah, this looks like a good card.
Yeah, it's mint condition, man. What do you mean? That's mint.
Yeah.
Just put it in like a thicker top.
Yeah, and now, you've got these grading companies, right? Like PSA is the big one. You have SGC, who's a pretty reputable one, and BGS, who's like the Beckett grading services, right? Like those are like your 3. Yeah, there's Dalton's got a Beckett, right? The old school Beckett.
I used to buy those a lot too.
Yeah, I used to have subscription, man. These used to come to the house. But yeah, so the grading, man, like that's how it's changed. Like now if you're getting a good card. Like for the most part, you still buy cards raw, ungraded, but if you grade a card out and it grades a perfect grade, you could usually sell it for 10 times what you're selling it for raw.
Wow.
Yeah. That's just, I know, like for myself, I sent in a couple like express to be graded because I knew they were worth money and I knew they were in great condition. Mm-hmm. And there are a couple cards that I'm selling or just sold one on eBay. But yeah, I've got another about 80 cards out to be graded right now that, yeah, they grade out.
So what are you putting it in to make sure this is a Tupperware? Like, what's going on?
I should have brought one of the graded cards, but like when you send them into grading.
Yeah, so it's not graded yet, and you have it like in your hand.
So there's you have like a top loader here, right? Okay. That's a hard plastic, and then the card is actually in a soft plastic sleeve that you put in the top loader. Well, when you send it to be graded, you still put it in that soft sleeve, but you put it in like the card savers. Remember the old ones that were like this big and you'd kind of slide them in? They had the little lip up top. I should have brought some of this stuff.
They're not in there, right?
No, I didn't see any in there. But that's how you send it in to be graded. And the reason why is they can cut it out of there without damaging the card. And then they will put this underneath lights and magnifying glass and check every angle. They'll check the centering on the card, make sure there's no dents, no dings, no scratches, whatever. And they'll grade the card out. And a grading system that goes like from 1 to 10 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, a gem grade would be that 10. And, like I said, that's just the value of your card will be through the roof.
So will they put it in a better case for you or a graded case for you?
Once they grade it, they put it in this hard case where the card's never going to move, right? And then at the top of the case, it has a label.
I've seen kind of the writing on top.
Exactly. So it has the year, the player name, the card type. If there's if it's
their own name,
a foil card, and it says PSA on it and whatever. But it's a trip, man. It's a trip. PSA has been around for 30 years probably. It's kind of, but like in the last I don't know however many years, it's grading is kind of where it's at, right? Like the quality that you're buying. What you're getting. Like you buy a card raw, you never know what you're going to come up on. Like I've bought some raw cards through eBay and stuff, and most of what I bought's been okay. But like I bought a couple cards that I'm like, okay, low enough price, get them, and I'm going, this corner's a little fuzzy,
right.
Or it's got a little white spot on it here, or a little smudge here, or whatever. So,
and some people don't even grade it, and like they'll do it where it's like a super thick top loader, but they'll like nail it like on the sides.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It like, stays in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's just funny to see the different routes that people will go with this.
Yeah,
right. So yeah, grading, man, it's a process too. Like PSA, they're overloaded with people sending stuff in right now.
I was gonna say, what's the turnaround on those right now?
Well, it depends. Like they have like a 20-day turnaround, a 40-day. They have an express, like the ones that I sent in. Express were like a 4-day or 5-day or something like that. But those were ones that I wanted to get back and put on the market.
Okay.
But yeah, they are overloaded. They're backlogged with orders right now because the market is so hot. Plus quarantine, people are going through all their old stuff and they're like, hey, let's send this stuff in for grading. And grading costs money. It costs like the cards that I sent Express, $75 a card.
Wow.
Yeah, but I wanted that turnaround.
Yeah, they're putting in time though to make sure
and that was
taken care of.
But you look at it though, is I took one of those cards and I sold it for just under a couple grand. So it's gonna pay for itself.
When you get to that level.
Yeah, it's just what are you willing to put in?
So maybe I should spend some money on those LeBrons over there.
I tell you what. So next, because I'm a member through PSA. Next time I send some in, because I've got a stack of cards that need to go, I'll send them for you.
Okay,
and then I'll keep them.
Yeah. Say, hey man, they said they were fake, so they shredded it for you.
They sent me back the empty toppler. Like, sorry, bro, it wasn't that cool. We didn't like them.
Coincidence? I can retire now. Okay, Darrell. I'll just.
Yeah, and like it's funny because you're saying you'll send in some of my cards from PSA, but you keep on like thinking about it and you still regret it, like how you gave me that Kyle Lewis.
So Kyle Lewis is the Rookie of the Year this year for the American League.
Okay.
Right? So there's this parallel version of a card. Like when Topps first came out this year, I'm going through cards, and like whenever I buy cards for myself, like for my investment collection to try and use as a business type of thing, I'm not just going out and buying. I still I got this guy, like come open packs, and I'm still giving him cards.
Yeah.
Right. Like I just, as a dad, I'm like, I can't just oh yeah, this is all business and this is my stuff. Like,
yeah, you got to have fun.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, all right, cool. So I give him a stack of these parallel cards, right? Like, so they're limited print runs. And I give.
What does parallel mean? That's just what it's called?
Yeah,
it's
so it's like a parallel.
Card?
So it's like got a yellow border instead of a regular border to it, right? So they're not serial numbered, whatever. Well, I end up giving him a few of the rookie cards from that. Well, one of the rookies I give him
was this. What point of the season was
before the season started? This is during quarantine.
Okay,
yeah.
so who knows?
So I'm like,
right?
yeah, cool. I've never heard of this guy. Whatever. Ends up winning Rookie of the Year.
Nice.
And that card ungraded, I see selling for $200. So graded, I told him we'll send it in next time we grade.
Yeah. But
graded, I mean, he gets a perfect grade on that. He's probably looking at $1,000 card.
Yeah. Nice.
You're welcome. And don't let him fool you. That's not like the only one. This dude's come up on some of the stuff that I've given him. I'm like, here, kid, take this. And he's like, all right.
Yeah,
and he's like,
okay, fine.
Hey, Dad, you remember that card you gave me? It's worth like $200 in the Beckett. I'm like,
yeah, he didn't need it.
Yeah.
You didn't need it.
Yeah.
He needed it.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's cool.
But it's cool. It's fun, man. It's so much fun.
That's the best feeling, like holding the pack, you know, like opening. I used to try to carefully open them, so I could just spill them out of the top. I really like the wrappers, just the art on those too.
Yeah, Dalton's got, so, just in the last, I don't know, probably 6 months, he's just starting to open up his own packs, right? Because before it was like, not sure how to handle the cards, right? So that was a big thing. Like with a lot of the old collections that I would buy, like I've bought a ton of old cards from people on like Facebook Marketplace, where you see people like, hey, $20, I got this box of cards. Well, what's in there? And it's mostly commons, right? And it's stuff like from when I collected, from when you collected. They've pulled all the good stuff out. But for a kid, that's the stuff we're all like, here, Dalton, here's a stack of cards, sort through them.
Yeah.
And they start to figure out how to handle the card without beating them up, without dropping them. So now he's starting to open up the cards and get that feeling of opening up the pack and seeing what that's all about and sorting through them, making his own piles and stacks. And like you were talking about the packs, like liking the packs, like, a lot of the stuff you buy now, whether it's retail or like the hobby big boxes, they come in a box. So he collects the boxes, right?
Okay.
So he's got a shelf in his room that's just got a ton of boxes on it. Like, I don't have that box yet. Can I keep that one? Yeah. And we were just talking the other day. We got to get rid of some of them because it's getting out of control.
I'll be standing there, like playing, and then like a box will fall into my head. Weird.
Stacked.
Yep. But it's cool, man, and that's a fun part about it, man. Really fun part. Yeah. So like I said, Dalton's mostly a baseball card collector. A little bit of football, couple basketball cards. Some were just basketball cards that I had randomly had that I get. Like there's a Jason Kidd rookie.
Yeah.
I'm like, here, take this. This is like a few years ago, and then we start collecting, and it's just fun, man. Just fun.
I have at least one
Kidd,
Jason Kidd rookie. Yeah. He's in here. He's in one of these
somewhere.
Holding up. He's like holding up the jersey with his suit on.
Yeah. And that's the fun stuff, man. Is like you start going back through the stuff too. Like I said, like at your age now, you go through the stuff that you thought was cool, and you start to go, huh.
Man, I haven't opened this box in years. Like,
oh yeah,
probably at least 5, maybe even 10. Like this bottom binder here, it's just crazy to see some of these names.
Yeah, who was? I was looking at your Warriors cards. I saw Sharunas Marshallonis over there.
Those really cool names.
Yeah, him and your boy Latrell Sprewell.
Man, that was my favorite player as a kid. Man, he was just so tenacious, and I was a shy kid. So,
but he was like the only player on the Warriors at that time too.
He was the only one. That's why he was so mad. It's like, come on, guys, you guys chased Hardaway out of here. Weber wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
or
man.
even old coach pictures or cards. Like there's coaches here I'm like I've never seen before, but then you see Jeff Van Gundy with hair. It's like, I wish he could hear that. It's like, or Ben Wallace when he's super young and then he went on to the Pistons and he won with them, with he had the fro going, he was all, older and meaner.
Yep.
But here he looks like a baby.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. When you go through like the progression of players too, with their like you take like a rookie card and then you see them like as a 15-year vet, and you're like,
like wow,
wow.
You're there, you're smiling. You look 10.
Yeah, end of the career, they're just pissed.
Yeah,
just pissed. Yeah.
Tom Gugliotta.
Oh, that dude. That reminds me. You remember the video game NBA Jams?
Yeah.
Gugliotta.
He was on there, that's right.
Yeah.
George Murison, remember that dude? He was like 7'7" or something. Manute Bol's in here.
Yeah, it's like I said, man. It's so much fun when you start going back through some of the old stuff, right? And that's going to be the cool part too. Is like for Dalton, is he's got. Oh, here's some Kevin Garnett's, bud. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom Gugliotta right here.
He's on a couple teams.
Apparently, he played for everybody. But that'll be the cool part too for Dalton. Like as he gets older, right? Is like he'll go back through some of this stuff and look at it and be like, man, I remember my dad and I, collecting this guy or that guy, and he ended up being a stud, or he ended up being meh.
Or not. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
And you remember those personality profiles as you watch their careers too, because I'm sure you guys watch at home, right? Sports.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So these guys that we're collecting on these cards. I mean, every Saturday morning, I was watching basketball. I was able to name most starting fives on different teams and stuff like that. So this is really cool because then you get to know more too than just watching. Because out of 9, players on a baseball field, if you're not looking at the cards like we're looking at, most people probably couldn't name them, But then you start seeing them, and then it gets really cool. You're like, oh yeah, I know that guy. You know his stats.
Yep. That's like him with all the Giants players, huh?
I couldn't name any right now, man. Something happened after like 3 years ago, and I don't know any Giants. So tell me some of the Giants now, Dalton.
Mr. Posey, Mike Yastrzemski, Logan Webb, Evan Longoria, Austin Slater, Jaden Davis. Is he still on?
Yep.
Okay.
Whose number did you have this year?
Brandon Crawford.
Yep.
Brandon Belt.
I remember them.
Yep.
I don't know if he's on the Giants anymore.
Who?
Hunter Pence.
No, Hunter retired. Hunter finally retired. Yeah. Hunter was a good giant, though. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
he was
Hunter was a good giant.
man.
That's a good dude, man. Hunter Pence is awesome. He's so much energy. So much energy.
Yeah.
I love it. Love some Hunter Pence. Yeah. Cool, man. Anything else you want to tell these guys out there about baseball cards or sports cards or anything like that?
Well, I was gonna say like also
Uh-huh.
how you were saying like, oh well, I thought this was a great card when I was 8 or something like that, and it's weird to think that I'll say that, and I feel like I won't, but I really will.
Oh, yeah, you will.
Yeah, you're gonna remember all this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anything else you want to tell these guys about cards out there?
I don't think so.
No, you think they should all collect baseball cards?
If you want to.
Yeah, if you want to. Okay.
Do you guys have a Instagram, right?
We do.
So
We do, and it's
Dalton?
a lot of it's the stuff that sometimes it's pictures of Dalton opening cards or stuff that we've pulled from packs. Sometimes it's stuff that I put up on eBay for sale. But we do. It's Big D, Little D Sports.
check it out.
Yeah, Big D, Little D Sports, and I think that's our eBay site or store, whatever the
Okay.
heck
Pretty
you
sure
call
that
it.
is.
Yeah, and there's Dalton. I don't let Dalton sell his cards. I make him keep his stuff. The stuff that we sell is stuff that comes from my collection.
Okay.
Like, I make him keep all of his stuff because you never know what's going
Yeah.
to be good, huh? Yeah. So, so that's kind of some stuff that we do for fun. Man, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a good time, man. I forgot how much I love the hobby.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I mean, even into like high school and stuff. That's what I thought I was going to do. I thought I was going to open up a baseball card shop.
So like you're saying, how like the you will sell the cards, but it just seems scary because you don't know, like maybe it's a $1,000 card now and it'll be like a $5,000 card now.
Yep, that's
And
a
then
risk that you take.
or later, and maybe 1,000 card now and a 5-cent card later.
Yeah.
And that's just it, right? That's just it. You never know, man. You never know. If some of these guys, especially the younger guys, your rookies, they could get hurt and never play again. It's a gamble.
So what do you guys think about this past season that just happened? There's only 60 games. Do you think it's going to be remembered, or do you think it's going to be kind of a wash like other seasons where there was a strike and the players didn't play for a lot of games?
I think this will be like a remembered one because like a lot of the players too, I think they'll remember that, like because a lot of them like usually have stuff to do with the fans and stuff like that, and then now they don't really have any of that, or also like having less of like they can't have a party as much as they used to. Like,
Yeah.
And also I think they'll just remember how weird it was
Yeah.
to have a different season than it ever was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like from a collecting standpoint, I think that I think this is going to be one of those years that people are probably going to try and buy a lot of cards from, just because this is something that's going to go down in history. It's never, we've never
60
experienced.
games, almost no fans, right?
Yeah, I think like from a player standpoint, right? Like, I don't think any player could do anything to hurt themselves in their career this year. And what I mean by that is you got a 60 game season, so you got to basically playing a 30-year season. So a lot of these guys is if they had a bad year, it's not going to negatively affect
Yeah.
their
They could only win.
their career. Now, if they blew up and had a
Right.
great season, awesome, good for you. But you take a guy like Christian Yelich, right, who's MVP 2 years ago, and he had a terrible season this year. Well, it doesn't really hurt him. He only played 60 games.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't just have enough time to get rolling, or whatever it was. It's just so I don't think this is going to be anything that's looked upon negatively from the player standpoint.
And also the like spring training,
Yeah.
like that was cut short too. So I think that impacted part of it too.
Yeah, for sure. You don't have enough, as much time to practice, man. Things are going to be a little funky, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't completely off, so everybody got to relatively stay in shape, I imagine, or the same, play shape.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's different though. Different. I tell you, it's fun. It's fun to be back in it, man. Fun to be back in it. We're gonna get Mike collecting cards again too.
Well, yeah. So if someone's just starting, I'm gonna go home. Should I jump on the internet and pay $5,000 for a pack of Topps 2020 right now?
No.
Okay, no, we're not gonna do that.
No. So, like what I would tell somebody is, number one, know what you want to collect. Know what sport do you really like, right? Make sure that if you are gonna buy or collect cards, or even like if you're gonna do investing, make sure you know the sport, right? Like for me, baseball and football. I love baseball. I love football. So that's my main focus. Now, I'll dabble a little bit in basketball, but I don't follow basketball as much. I couldn't tell you as much about basketball, so I'm not going to put all my
stay in
efforts
your
there.
lane.
Exactly, 100%. And I think that's what most people should do. And if you're doing it from a collecting standpoint, collect what you like.
Yeah, just have fun.
Yeah, don't look at it as, this card or this box of cards is worth this much money. Like there's certain brands of cards that I buy because I think they're cool, not because they're worth money. Like Topps Stadium Club.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I remember that one.
I love Topps Stadium Club because the photos are absolutely amazing for Stadium Club. Now, are those the most expensive cards you could buy? No. Do those have the highest resale value? No. But I love the way they look.
Yeah.
Right? So, like for me, like I'll buy stuff like that. So.
And also, like if you don't really have a sport or anything to collect, I would just think of the ones that you think, like, let's say you open some hockey packs, some football, some baseball, some basketball, and, like, choose from which ones you like the most, and, like, maybe, try different brands of those, then, like, see which ones you like the most pictures and stuff like you're saying.
Which ones interest you the most?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then, like, probably base it off of that.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I used to really like Fleer Ultra.
Yeah.
That was
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell.
I like Topps. Topps I had is probably just about the same, but
Well,
to me, Stadium Club was like a notch up.
mm-hmm.
And I never thought about the photography until right now.
Yeah.
As a kid, I'm not seeing that as necessarily something that stands out. To me, it was like the hologram look, the foil look, and the cost, of a pack. Because in Stadium Club, even back then, I'd be like, 5 cards in one pack? Like, no,
Right.
I'm going to get this 20,
Well, and it's funny, too. Like, you look at Stadium Club now, and, like, I don't want to say those are cheaper, but those are just kind of a base
right. Well,
type of card.
Sounds like, again, some of those, like Panini you mentioned, or Prism. I don't know if
Prisms,
that's okay.
the Chromes.
But they just kind of took off, and and they kind of had to, and I'm glad they did because it created value for the industry again.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. And it's like I said, man, cards have gone a bunch of different directions, and there's so many different options. I mean, Topps has the market basically for Major League Baseball because they have the rights to use the team names and all, so that, but Topps themselves, how many different brands of Topps do we have now? Is they've got 20 plus brands, underneath the Topps name. And it's cool, but it's cool to see that they've gone different directions with it, and there are different options for people.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's what we got today. Little sports cards. That was fun, man.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll do this again. I'll bring in some other sports next time.
All right. Sounds good. We'll have to bring in some like PSA graded cards and some other stuff to show people. Bring some of Dalton's favorite cards. We'll bring some of my favorite cards and what?
Like, you could show like the numbered cards and relics. And
Yeah. So everybody can kind of see what we're talking about. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining us today and hanging out. Like I said, a little off topic for what we normally would talk about here, but I thought this would be a fun episode. This is actually Mikey's pulling the trigger on it. We talked about doing something like this before, and Mike hit me with a text. He's like, "Hey man, how about we talk about some sports cards?" I'm like, "Cool, man. Hey, I'll never say no to it." So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If there's any questions that we can answer or help you guys with, you can reach out to me and Dalton on Instagram, Big D, Little D Sports. You guys can always hit up Cast Iron Workouts at Gmail. You guys can reach out to us on Instagram and on Facebook, not on Twitter. And yeah, that's all I got. Mikey, would I forget anything?
No, just hi Darrell's mom.
Yeah. Mom, I told Mike how much you enjoy, his presence on the podcast. And I don't know, it's kind of weirding me out. Anyways, if you guys have questions, let us know. If there's anything we can help you guys with, workout wise, as always, reach out. Check out castironworkouts.com for some cool workout programming. That's what we got. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys are having a good week, and we'll see you guys later.